Okay, this is a recorded intro, so you hear the voice and telling about 7 o'clock. All would be available. But the first thing I would like to talk about with you, before we go any deeper into the material, is about EMF and your system, your 3-day AD or Hunter Metapathia system. Because a lot of people do not realize, but I already talked about it a lot. But a lot of people have bad groundings, and the biggest problem of those groundings is that certain frequencies are transferred by the total wire net throughout your country and or throughout Europe in our case, throughout all the states, and all those frequencies are coming into your household and to your system. And the biggest issue is these frequencies paralyze your bioreceptors and are creating stress for the body. And now you think by using the 3D or AD or a Hunter, you correct these things. But a lot of people do not realize that when their Hunter or 3D or AD is connected to the PC, these frequencies are also transmitted. And I've seen a lot of cases, which I corrected myself by going straight to the locations by therapists and medical doctors and users who used the 3D, AD or the Hunter, and they had very bad results. And my results with their DNA RNA were much, much, much better. So that was very strange. So when I checked up with a meter, and you can buy several meters, for example, you can buy them also for $9. Shipment is $145. And this is very important that you buy such a device and do not listen to stories about that you need an expensive meter from $200-300 or euros or 600, because it's nonsense, because I have a lot of meters in different price classes, and this one does the same as the very expensive ones. But what you have to do is buy such a meter and put it between the headphone of your 3D, AD or Hunter. Do not run the program, that's not necessary, but just put the device on, and hold the device between your headsets. A normal level is almost 0 if it's good grounded, but you will see in many cases it gives an alarm above 200, and I saw in most of cases 1250. So that's paralyzing the needy, so treatments are less effective. So this is a tip I want to give you. Do with it what you like. Just go to AliExpress and search on electromagnetic radiation detector. This one is DT 1130, only $9, with shipping about $12, and then you have a very good checkup, because you want the best for your treatments and the most effect. So this is the first tip I wanted to give you. Now about the intro, I do not have to introduce myself. My name is Wim van der Kuil. My nickname is Metamaster, and it's only to make a statement. And what we do is help people, educate people, so they can take more control of themselves, because it's very important that people take control and do not rely on beautiful stories that nothing can be done anymore. So perhaps it's being recorded as well. Yes, sure, Kevin. It's being recorded, as you can see in top. That's why I just share my screen. I have nothing to hide. It's recorded, and it's especially for those people, because yeah, it's very difficult to plan a time that everyone can join, because as you know, we have our family worldwide. By 7 o'clock this evening, okay, now it's almost 7:30 in the evening, but the EMF meter, is a meter which you put between the headset of the Hunter, the 8D or the 3D. And then you can measure, the alarm will go off above 200, and in most cases it went up to 1200. So that's very important that that is neutralized. Is that okay, Kevin? Perhaps someone could share live music indeed, yeah. It's neutralized. It is neutralized by a little trick. I spend a lot of money and a lot of time on all kinds of devices, and some were only $50 or $60, but I also had devices up to 1,000 euros. Yes, we go on. We have time enough, Alexander. It's just to explain. If someone asks a question, this is the introduction. The introduction may take between 15 and 30 minutes, so there's no problem. The point is that this is also described on the forum. Yeah, instead of spending lots of money on all kinds of devices which do only cover up but not really work, you use a special wire, and it's very cheap. So that's all. Huh? Good. Now let's go. Is there someone who has a microphone? Because I think it's also nice to hear something back. Nobody microphone? Okay, no problem. First, everyone wants to speak, and now no one dares to speak, except for Maggie. Okay, what we're going to talk about today is about non-linear systems. Non-linear systems, it began, maybe here's some music. Non-linear system, it began with the 3D, as you all or many know. Okay. So we have the 3D, which was invented by IPP Russia, and they developed it, the system. It was for the aerospace. It's very logical. They have to do and know if people, the astronauts who were trained, and that cost billions, would be able after the training to go really into space. So they needed a prognosis, a research prognosis, that after 1, 3, and 5 years they were still in good health. So that's the main source, how it was developed. And Japan also invested a lot of time and money in that, and later also the USA. Professor Nesterov from IPP Russia developed it for and commercialized it, of course. And now it's being used, the 3D and the Hunter, but mainly the 3D and later the Hunter, for about 100 medical hospitals worldwide. And there are famous hospitals, and if you want to know which hospitals and testimonials and official research papers, you can look that up at the web shop. There's a link with scientific docs. What's the difference between the 3D, the 8D, and the Hunter? As a matter of fact, they are all the same. And okay, sorry Hunter users, AD users, but the fact is the main engine of all three systems is the same. I myself had different companies in the past, successful companies, and one of them was an IT company, and we had also departments of software development and hardware development, and I was always in front at the different departments, of course, because I have to be the leading figure. And the point is, so I know what software is, I know the structures of software, but IPP developed this system, and they used the data of approximately 100,000 people from different ages, blood types, and also ethnics. So all this information was put into the system. Later, there were other manufacturers, and that's what you can see by the catalogs in the systems, and they made the catalogs for the systems. So that's a little intro and about the comparison of the 3D, the 8D, the Hunter Metapathia. The 8D has a lot of catalogs, a lot of remedies, and a lot of extra research possibilities, and is a fantastic tool for doing auto treatments. The Hunter Metapathia, just as the name explains, hunts really for the sources of the problems. And it goes to not only to the organ or the cell level, but it goes even up to the DNA, and the most important one, which I tell everyone, the RNA level, because that's where everything starts. The other very good advantage of the Hunter is, with the Hunter you can do in-depth treatments, and that is something you cannot do with the 3D and 8D. And yeah, some people say yes, but it's the same. No, it's not the same. On a certain level, if you know all items which belong together, then you could do a mix, and you could do that. But for really in-depth treatment, yeah, I would prefer the Hunter, and it's very powerful. So that was it. Now let's go to the AD. The AD, and you all know them. There are a few visitors here who also have the 3D, like Thomas from Austria. He has a 3D. I think he also has an AD, if I remind correctly. Yes, it was a long time ago. And he also has a Hunter. And the nice part is the 3D and the Hunter are very good comparable of results. So that's very good. Again, in the core system, from the 3D, the 8D, and the Hunter is the same. And what we're going to talk about here, yeah, and we will talk about the analyzing the history of the stages of development of diseases with CSS. That's the main, the history of the stages of development and the severity of diseases. That's the main item. That's for all the systems the same. It's for the 3D, it's for the 8D, it's for the Hunter. And perhaps some people might say, oh, can you also tell the other? Can you also tell the other? Is no one chatting? Okay. Good? Or are listening? Okay. I did not, I can mute the line, but I do not hear nobody speaking between. So that's, you are very grown-on people. So back to the AD, or see it as a 3D, or see it as a Hunter. The first thing I would like to answer is the fact, and let's make a new card. Last name, Kruse, Johan, Joan, Johan. Everyone knows you have to make a new record. I'm not going to tell you about how to make a new record because you all can do this. And if you can't do, okay, then I think you need glasses. Johan lives in the Netherlands, but is from Indonesia. So, for the 80, there is, and I'm able to tell also something about the AD, because people who have 3D can now see the differences, the little differences, but with a big impact for the AD. So perhaps later they will upgrade to an AD system. For the people who use an AD, many times I see them bypassing these sections. I'm not going to talk a lot about this, only 5 minutes. But it's an important section. Why? Because people come to a therapist or a medical doctor, I know many medical doctors and specialists with complaints. And they say, okay, I've got complaints in my stomach and it is diarrhea. So you can point it on here. If you work this way, the program will do a selection for scanning items, so it takes care extra of it. So this is an important feature. We are talking about analysis and complaints, and here is a very important item, very important information, which is already thousands of years old. And if you learn this stuff, then you almost know 90% of the problems of the people before they say anything. For example, if someone has 2 deep wrinkles, yeah, it means kidney weakness. And so there are a lot of pages. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but I think it's very important because if you learn this, yeah, you will see in the future so many things. Now. And that also counts for the iris. The iris is used by many medical doctors and certainly for neurologists, yeah, to check if someone is faking a disease, yeah, or it is psychosomatic, as many times told. And by the iris, they can check because it's a very good representative of all bodily problems. So I would say, study this also, yeah, and use this information. And sometimes people ask me, okay, what do I have to do with it then? Now, I myself have an iriscopy camera, and but you can, after a while, when you train yourself a little in it, you can just use a flashlight and see it because you know it, but it's just the experience. Now, then we also have a zodiac, depending on the birth date. Yeah, this is also information for following known as medical information for thousands of years. Microphone. Thank you. So that's the zodiac is also important to take. The most important one is the blood group. Yeah, so you got so many information from the blood group. So please use this information. Yeah, do something with it because that's very important. That's all. Not more about that because there's John here. So we make a scan, and the first list of analysis is the scanned list. And by the colors in the 3D and AD, it's the same. By the list and the colors, you can see if there are problems in a certain area. And you can also see the needies. The needies, these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which you all did see. 6 is, of course, very worse disalignment of the bioreceptors, almost totally upside down. And 5 is worse, a 4 is below 0, a 3 is normal, a 2 is excellent, and a 1, believe it or not, but the number 1s are healing from the body from within. So it's healing from the body itself. We're going to talk about that later. We did a scan, and it's also in the 3D possible to show the pictures. Yeah, in the AD you can show 4 pictures. So normally you have 4 visits and you see the same pictures, but in 4 times a visit, so you can see the development of the treatments. That's not what I'm going to do. So that's very nice to know. But I will not show you the functioning of the software. What we are going to do is talk about the stage of development of certain diseases. Yeah? Are you still following me? Would like to see Hunter as AD is so completely different. AD, nothing like Ragnar Lodbrok. Hunter inaccuracy, I don't agree, Ragnar. No. Because the 3D can be very accurate, the AD also, and the Hunter also, but it depends what software did you buy, yeah? Because I've seen a lot of differences in the same AD versions software, but also in the Hunters. In the forum you can read all about it. We're not going to discuss about the 3D AD Hunter minors or pros, because it's if I do not blood type, how I find this data. If you do not know the blood type, then you can order on the internet. Then you can order on the internet a blood type test. It costs approximately $10 or $20. I think Thomas Hayes ordered about 10 for €60, I think. And then you can do it at home. I did it for this week, also for a person. I thought it was you, Sergio. I did the blood type test. Or was it? Oh no, it was someone else. But yeah, but there's all over the planet. You can order such a blood type test, and you put 4 drops of blood on the test. And then you can see the blood type, and some people cannot interpret the data of the blood type test. But if you want to do blood type test and you do not know, you can always send a picture to me, and I can tell you which blood type it is. It's free of charge. It's just to help, because the blood type is very, very, very important. If you do not know, you do not select the blood type, but the best is to select the blood type. Okay, Ian got his blood type test kit on iHerb for only $12. Sure, Ragnar. Sure. It depends on the catalog. Okay. But we go on. What's important for you is in the 3D, the AD, and the Hunter, you have catalogs. Yeah. In the 3D, almost it's about 10 categories depending on the 3D version. In the AD, you have many more, of course, as you can see. Yeah, I can show you here. So you have many more. And in the Hunter, you have normally about 8 to 10 catalogs, but some versions also have approximately 35 catalogs. So, but the main source system and what's the most important one, is the interpretation of the CSS values. Yeah? Some people get a network crash. Hopefully I'm not. Oh, Clive. No problem. Welcome, Clive. Because now we're starting with the real information about spectral similarity. Some manuals call it KCC, others call it CSS. So this is only a minor with the AD. If you select them all, it takes a little time to show all the catalogs. Now, in the 3D, the AD and the Hunter, you have a button Vergator Test. In the AD, it's Vergator Test C. Depending on the version, we renamed these buttons in our AD software to Vergator Test on body, and this button is for the cup, and renamed them to Vergator Test on cup. The main purpose of the Vergator test is to test all the remedies on the body before you treat the body with it, or before you make a remedy. And the Vergator test, I've seen it a few times, that the Vergator test was used for other purposes, but that's not the goal. The Vergator test, the name itself says it, it's for testing. If you look up the word Vergator, it's for testing all the remedies on the body. And the Vergator test O or Vergator test cup on body is to test your stuff which you got from your doctor or from the drugstore, if it's good or not, or even natural plant herbs or vitamin C, you can test it on the body if it's good or not. So that's the main purpose of the Vergator test. Analysis Plus is also in the 3D, also in the Hunter, also in the AD. So you see a lot of buttons are the same. And you can analyze, if you've done a test with a remedy on the body, you can analyze it. A reprinter is for making remedies into your cup. The IP crisis is for putting selections into the IP crisis, so that afterwards you can make PDFs or TXT files for it. It's very handy, for example, for the pathology if you want the diseases on a paper, and much more important for the microorganisms and helminths, for the bugs. I call them all bugs because otherwise you always have to say viruses, parasites, worms, blah, blah, blah. It's too long. Bugs is easy. So you can put all the bugs in hypercrisis and print a PDF or TXT file with a program, a fantastic software tool from Spooky 2. Yes, I do not only talk bad about Spooky 2, I also do honor the software. But for example, like Spooky 2, then you have to put your volume a little louder, Alexander. The volume is hard enough because I do recordings every day and I do master classes every day, and no one complains about the volume. Sorry. So, but back to the AP crisis. So you can make a PDF, and I will show you later because it's very important that you take control. The Spooky 2 group made beautiful products, beautiful software, certainly. And you can use it in your battle for the bugs. And okay, I do not agree on all the items which are sold, but because some are not so effective as people would like to believe, that's the difference. But the software, I've built a lot of software myself. I also built RISE systems, very powerful ones, and the software is super fantastic. So no doubt about it.